Hello and welcome to the Futro Hidden Movie Gems podcast. I'm your host, Ty Spiker Christensen. It's a wolf trap, but that's a tiger after you. Or I don't know what the quote is. That's not a wolf, it's a tiger. And we've got Jordan Christensen on the pod.
Nacho.
Dude, I'm sure the word nacho is dance, right? Is that
Yeah.
if I'm saying the word right? I'm pretty sure
I
it's the
know.
word dance.
Are we
right?
pronouncing it right?
Nacho.
Nacho Libre.
And we've got Cameron Mickle on the podcast.
You know the value of the bullet that's in your gun?
That was a good quote, actually. I forgot
Dude,
about that.
when they hit the woman on the car with that
We laughed
smacked
so
her with, like, a
hard.
tree root. How are you laughing at that?
That
That's
was
so
so
sad.
funny.
It like
It was just out of
exploded on her
nowhere.
head.
And out of nowhere.
It was like Michael Bay explosion on her head. Bro. I was like,
Yeah, that was hilarious.
I was thinking of the tiger when he lifts up the log and the tiger just smashes into it. That's what I'm thinking of. And we've got Grant Mickle on the podcast.
I must say, if you had told me that I would sit down and watch a 3-hour Bollywood movie, I would have laughed at you and enjoyed it.
And enjoyed it. Ah, gosh.
Enjoyed the
dang it,
movie,
guys.
not the laugh.
Hollywood. I think it's actually Tollywood.
I'm pretty sure it's Bollywood. It's with a B.
No, but I'm pretty sure this. I don't know. I'll look it up.
Is this not?
Is it not Indian?
Well, he pretends to be Pakistani, but isn't this like Indian and versus the Brits or something like that?
Yeah, I thought it was like India being taken over by England.
Yeah.
And he
it's
pretends to
India.
be Pakistani to go undercover, but that was just a ploy, so they wouldn't
Oh.
figure out that he was searching for his sister. Yo, guys, today we're reviewing RRR for Rise, Roar, and Revolt. I think you're supposed to say that, dude, when you watch this movie.
Apparently-
what is this
hold on,
movie?
bro.
One part John Wick,
Apparently,
one part
the writers and producers or whatever, all their first names started with R, and there's 3 of them.
That's hilarious. Love it. Yeah, there you go. Fire, water, and all the. There's so many great moments in this movie. Okay, can I just say I got to get it out of the way? The bromance in this movie, they're
Yes.
so good. I mean,
That is
it's
so good.
holding an umbrella for each other over the fire, doing leg squats while he's sitting on his shoulders, and then after the dance, which he threw, by the way, so he would impress his lady friend. Is
Yeah.
that not the bro that has your back? I mean, come
Yes.
on, dude.
Bro.
Ultimate bro. So
Ultimate
anyway,
wingman.
and then he's carrying him after the dance. He's like, my legs are tired. Just carry me a little further. So funny. Oh gosh, so great, dude. I want that man arrested and brought to me. He's just like, I'll take care of it. It's
Leaps.
life.
I love their leaps too. They leap like 20 feet. It's
Oh,
so
I love it.
funny.
Yes. It's so cinematic. I'm like,
Yeah.
it's the Tom Cruise run of jumping, right? It's,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Or
like
just
the
every time
equivalent.
they like throw a little kid and they're just like, oh,
No, dude, I love it how they go. You can tell they're going on a straight line. That they're like on a pulley system.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
so great.
Flying back. I love it. It's so dramatic. Guys, this movie
this is what Zack
insane.
Snyder wishes he could make.
Zack Snyder. This is, dude, like jumping through the air, arrows, everything. Everything is so impressive.
I did think of 300 though during the fight scenes, especially
Yes,
in the
that's
crowds.
that is very apt because I was trying to nail down the tone of this movie. It feels like Journey to the West
Yes.
meets 300. That
Yeah.
and 300's your pick, or that's like better in my mind because I was thinking of the movie John Wick for some reason. But I'm
Well,
like,
I actually thought
or
of
the
the
raid, maybe.
Yeah, the raid too, especially when
Yeah.
they're in the bathroom fighting and
Yes.
he's like surrounded by people just like this one. They're just like he's like there's so many people. He's literally It-
Yeah. that's
I
good
will
point.
admit that I mean I loved that opening. That was
Yeah, it's awesome. And they did such a good job with the visuals where some things didn't make sense. Like I played this movie for my wife, the certain scenes where I was like, just try and guess what happens. There's a screaming child at the bottom of a bridge and a train is about to fall on him. A, do they rescue him by swimming out to him? B, do they, get a boat or a raft for him? see, do they drive at each other with a motorcycle and a horse and jump off the bridge in opposite directions and swing
Well,
under the bridge?
well, and
pass the
communicating
kid from one to another,
eh,
and
While getting the
communicating
flag wet.
through this and this and this and this. That's it. No words need to be said. And that's what I'm like, dude. One of the greatest bromances in movie history. I love this.
yeah, when
movie
their
for
arms interlocked, it was just great.
they like clasp hands, and he's like, oh. He's like looking down at the fire and everything. Yeah,
They
it's
say
so
their names,
good.
and he's like, R, the R, the R,
Uh,
R, R.
Okay, please put subtitles on, guys. The songs in this movie. We're just getting right into this movie, folks. The songs in this movie, if you put subtitles on, it's like two best friends with different objectives. Will
Yeah.
their paths like meet? Like you have to listen to subtitles. The songs are like literally like
They're-
two
yeah.
friends.
They're
destined
like
to
prophecies
clash.
of like the future
Yes.
of like the future
Yeah.
of the characters.
It
It's
felt
so
very
funny.
Shakespearean, where
Yeah.
like
It
a tragedy where
reminded
they
me
tell
of
you what's
Get
gonna
Out.
happen.
Because Get Out in like the African language at the beginning, it explains the entire plot of the movie.
Oh,
Does
yeah.
it really?
Yeah, it's like
I wonder if
sometimes, like,
Africans are like, you're
Swahili or
doing us a
something
big
like that.
disservice, Jordan Peele, spoiling the movie like you did.
It's funny.
That's really funny.
Yeah, they're just like, oh well, I know what's gonna
I
happen.
guess I don't need to
Yeah.
see this movie anymore. That's really funny. That's great. But yeah, Bollywood. Dude, this movie, where did this come from? I don't know anything about this. The director was S.S. Rajamouli, if I said that right. Probably not. Amazing. Just absolutely amazing. Just floored by this movie, guys. I need to know more about it. Where did we discover this? I remember hearing about it when it first came out. People were like, you got to watch this movie.
Well, Cameron, I don't know why from the trailer you thought this was going to be amazing. I don't know what, because you had seen the trailer way early and you're like, I need to see this. And I
Dude,
was
it
like,
looked so insane. It was just like, it was one of those trailers where I was like, oh my gosh. It was like Journey to the West, but like even more over the top. Like, and I was
okay.
Yeah,
like,
like
how is that
spin-
possible?
Spin flipping a motorcycle with your kid.
Dude, I
Yeah,
know
you know.
the zero gravity moments where just he's like grabbing his gun, like cocking it and shooting while not moving in the air. I'm like,
Or even like and again, I love how many times it surprises us, right? There's scenes where like they're storming the parade or the party with all the Brits, and you're like, what are they gonna do? There's this big covered caravan
Truck, yeah.
truck, and you assume like a bunch of soldiers are gonna get out, and it's just all these
Just these
wild
animals
animals.
leap
leave the
out.
zoo.
It is such a cool shot, like visually
It
speaking,
is.
and it surprises me and it defied my expectations. And I was like, that's
Mhm.
awesome. And when you get a taste of that when he's hunting for the tiger, excuse me, hunting the tiger and running from the wolf at the beginning, you know, like he knows his way around the forest and the jungle, I guess I should
It-
say. And so good. It's so great. Leaping out with
He's
the
Indian Tarzan, man.
Yes.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah. Exactly. So anyway, I love that. So Cameron, you saw the trailer and you're like, keep an eye on this movie.
Yeah,
Because I heard Jared that we've had on the podcast, he did a review on it, and I was like, it was in my radar, but other than that, he had reviewed it and I didn't listen to it because I didn't want to spoil it. But
yeah.
anytime he recommends a movie, I want to check it out just to see.
So
But other than that, I have never heard of this movie. I've never heard of
me and
anyone that's seen
Drew-
this movie.
me and Drew had seen a bunch of clips from it on TikTok, and we were like, we have to watch
Okay.
this together because we just
Yes.
watched like the tiger scene, and how he's just like, oh, putting it together. And I'm like, what am I watching? This is insane. And then we also both saw the scene where his like car gets flipped, and then he's up in the air grabbing his pistol, cocking it or his rifle and shooting. And I was like, I need to watch this movie. So me and Drew set aside like a day, and we're like, okay, we're gonna watch it together because we'll enjoy it way more together. And oh my gosh, dude, we rewound at least 12 scenes. Like we were laughing so hard. Like that opening scene with getting hit by that branch and it literally explodes. I was like, no way I saw that correctly, dude. That was insane. So yeah. And then
You're not talking about the tiger, you're talking about the poor women, right? You
yeah,
keep saying
yeah. That was I mean,
I
what's
was
it called?
shocked. I was shocked. I was like,
Watch-
that is brutal. Like
Watching it for the
to show
first
that.
time, I kind of like was so excited just because of the disclaimer. The fact that they're like oxen, wolves, tigers, bears, they're all
Snakes.
CGI'd. I was like, you have to put a disclaimer that these are fake. I'm like, how are these animals incorporated in this movie?
I did think that I thought it was a joke at first because I was like, they're
Really?
naming like the whole animal kingdom here. It's like, no, animals play a big part of this movie. So yeah,
Yeah.
I
But
agree.
then yeah,
I
so
was
that
thinking it was a
I
joke.
watched it that first time with Drew, and I was just like so just taken back. It's funny because it was almost too much to process the first time. I kind of give it like a 7 out of 10. I thought it was just like pure entertainment, but I didn't like love it. But rewatching it the second time,
With somebody,
with
yes,
Grant, well, I already watched it with Drew,
right.
um,
But watch it
but
with people, dude.
showing Grant it and watching it with Drew again, so me and Drew were both watching it for the second time. Oh my gosh, dude, it was even that much better. I was so surprised that like, and we still rewound those same scenes. It was, and I still laughed at every single like thing. It was amazing, and it's now in my top 100.
That's that.
I think that's the funniest part about
That's
this.
crazy.
That's great. You're like
This movie just knows exactly what it is, dude. It is just so true to itself, and that's what I love about it.
Well, I'll give it to you too. Your guilty pleasures is superhero movies, and this is it's a
This is
superhero
the Indian
movie.
It does
superhero
have a
movie.
superhero
Yeah.
movie, yeah.
Like, because
Yeah.
they get punched, like the main character
Inhuman.
gets punched in the face like 1,500 times, and he's just like, or after getting whipped, you know, he
He
like
starts singing.
Yeah.
ah,
or
uh,
grabs a tiger or cheetah, a leopard off
A
of his
leopard
back and
throws it
throws
up
it at somebody
somebody.
else. Like, that's amazing. That's
Dude,
amazing.
Oh,
we've
so-
only fed him once a week, and then he's in there doing crunch pull-ups.
you don't need protein to grow muscle.
Exactly, dude. He's fueled by vengeance, dude. You don't need protein, man.
Dude,
Oh,
okay, yeah, get
It
to
does
everyone
it
else's
well.
things because I have so many things to gush about. But
Yeah, let's hear. So
I'll go last of the favorite things because I got like a billion.
I guess let's hear from each of you. Grant, what about you, man? Two of your favorite things from this
Well,
film?
and watching it for the first time.
And watching it for the first time. Oh yeah, I guess we all just watched it for the first time here though, right? I guess we kind of
Yeah.
just all kind
Well,
of
Cameron's seen it
surprised, I think
twice.
it's safe to say, and Karen's seen it twice. So
Mhm.
I will be watching
Yeah.
this again with my
Well,
wife.
and I've rewatched
my
scenes for a
brothers-in-law.
third time showing Kelsey. I was like, you had to see some of these scenes.
Yeah. No, I showed
Yes.
Elise some scenes too, and they're just so like fun to watch.
Oh yeah, I did the
Yeah.
same thing with my wife as well. I showed her all the like, especially the dancing scenes, because she loved that
Right.
stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. Like the scene, like you talked about, this movie knows what it is. I'm like, it is all over the place, dude. It's like this crazy action that I'm supposed to take
Bromance.
serious, but and then the bromance movie,
With
and
a
then
with a sprinkle of West Side Story.
yes, the dance off. Yes, there's a dance off in this movie where they're literally like dancing for a lady's affection or whatever. It's amazing. So good. Golly, Grant, keep going, man.
Just one of the things that comes to mind is like the reason this movie is 3 hours long is because half of it is slow motion. But I feel
Of
like it
iconic
leans
shots.
into it really well. Like, I mean, it's so cheesy at parts, but like I feel like it still adds to like the feel of the whole movie. And like,
And
'cause,
cheesy
like
is
during
the application of physics in this movie.
Yeah,
The way
exactly.
people fly and
Because like, well, it's so
soaring
funny
through the
too.
air.
Because like during the dance scene, like they're all dancing, and then it keeps cutting, or like I guess right before the dance scene, it like cuts to the platter like in slow motion, like still spinning,
you're like, what
and
is
then the
gonna
guy
happen?
picks it up and then
Kicks
starts
it
like
in
drumming on
Dude, but
it.
he's the best drummer of all time.
Yeah. So there's just like crazy like slow-mo parts that are just like really funny, or add to the action, just like him leaping over the fence, like it does that in slow motion, you know.
Jordan, you need to show your friend Tyler the dance in this movie. I feel like
Oh,
Tyler
yeah.
would incorporate this dance in the next one. The two of them dancing side by side.
With the suspenders.
So good. Yeah, and the suspenders. Snap. Go. Dance. So funny.
You know flamenco, but do you know Desi Nach?
I kept thinking of that weird music video that Andrew kept showing us. The
Tunak tune.
Yeah.
yeah, dude. Oh, it's great.
And then the other
Anyway.
thing that comes to mind is the prison break scene. Just to like how the guy has like broken legs or whatever, and so he like carries him, and then they just like they swing. The guy just double
Literally
rifles
misses
like
it by, like,
people as
that
they're like
much.
flying through the air. It's so funny.
Oh
It's
god.
Dude,
so
also, can
good.
we just get some appreciation for that reload? Dude, that was the most satisfying thing ever.
Yeah. Oh man.
While running and carrying a dude on his back, he's reload or cocking both rifles, dude. Doesn't get
Mm.
more bad than
I
that.
will say, for listeners that haven't seen this movie, you kind of have to see this movie to understand, like, because we can't even visually or like verbally explain what you visually will see on screen and the
We
things you
can't
will
do it
hear. And
justice.
we won't do it justice. I just want that disclaimer set, because this movie, you're like, what are they gonna do? And it just keeps getting bigger and more nonsensical and a very sweet plot at the center of it, right? Jordan, what about you, man? 2 of your favorite things, and what was like watching it for the first time?
Yeah, I just have to emphasize that it's very important to watch this with someone, because first time it wasn't nearly as good, but when I watched it again with my wife, the scenes, I mean, it's so funny when you hear like another person laughing, just like how absurd and crazy everything is. And so I'm really bummed that I didn't get to watch it with Cameron and Grant, but I did enjoy.
It is like a
the-
reality check. You're like, are we watching the same thing?
Yeah.
Is this really happening? Yeah.
That's funny.
Exactly. That's great. Do you have a favorite thing, Jordan?
Oh, and then yeah, there's a lot of scenes that I absolutely love, and I'm gonna go back and I've already rewatched, and I plan to rewatch again. But I love when he's in that crowd of people. There's something very like I just love that they had that many people. Like I don't even think, Christopher Nolan's getting that big a crowd. Sometimes I heard he even like, duplicated people in the crowds in the stadium at the football stadium. Like he didn't actually fill that whole thing.
I don't know.
So I just watching this, I'm like, oh my gosh, obviously they CGI'd a lot, but they also had a lot of practical effects as well, which I was just
I didn't think there was any CGI.
That was a real tiger he caught.
Yeah. And mind you, they literally said like all the animals are CGI, so don't worry about it. Yeah.
Like,
Oh,
But-
don't get it twisted. They're
No,
not
but like that practical shot where I don't know how they shot it, where he's like entombed with people. I thought that
Yes.
was really cool. It
that was such a
claustrophobic.
great shot. Yeah.
People are like climbing all over him, and he's like breaking people's hands, hitting them with
Yeah.
a stick, punch him in the
Dude,
face,
yeah, when
and they
he's
all start
crushing
like falling
toes.
off of it.
Just
That's
well,
really cool how they shot that. Yeah,
and
it
just to get
felt
that
very
one
claustrophobic.
guy, and I love that he was wearing red,
Oh
so
my
he
gosh.
stood out in the crowd of everybody's wearing
Yes.
white. So it's just
So
like
brilliant.
it's so cleverly thought out, and I really appreciated that for its details. And then they ham up the emotions to an all-time 10 on all the music and everything. It's very fun.
100%. Golly, I just had to come on and talk about this movie because this feels like a very Christensen Nickel, our family. Like we watched Journey to the West. That movie just fit so well with like everything. Like we were kind of in disbelief, you're a little bit in shock, but you're completely caught unaware with this movie. So I was so pleased to watch it and be like, yeah, this is what I'm going to show to all my family. Like everyone's going to watch this movie. And it's super funny, it's super fun, and yeah, to me the visuals are one of my favorite. And then my second favorite thing would be the the little staunch British man. He's like, stop this dancing, it's filthy. I don't know why. I just think he's so funny. He's such a great character, like a Weasley British man. I love it. I just love villains, and I think it's fun when you get a
Oh,
villain
and
that
these
you just
villains
love to hate.
are turned up to an all-time high.
And then the lady, yeah, she's all like, oh, horrified when they
Not enough blood.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm like, you
Yeah, that was a little
this,
extreme.
you stole this daughter away from freaking their
Where's the
family and
pool of
murdered
blood
the
at his
mother in
feet?
front of her. Yeah. So anyway, such a treat to watch this, and I had to come on and say my piece about it while we were doing the podcast. So, but yeah. So Cameron, keep throwing it out, dude. We give the ball to you, man. You love this movie. You've seen it twice now. You probably can remember things better than we can.
Yeah, the jumping in the physics in this movie is so beautiful. There's a time where a kid gets punched, and then he gets shot in the back with an arrow, and then he glides directly straight for like 12 feet. And then all the dancing is amazing. I also love that there's like somehow a romance when there's such a big language barrier that they literally don't understand a single word that they're saying. And she's just like,
Yeah, I understand. Your name is not to call you madam, and my name is Jenny. That's your name, right? It's like, no, she was telling you not to call her madam. Her name is Jenny. Oh, Jenny, short name. Good. I love that. And then I have to
and
get off
then
now, guys, real quick, but I just want to say one last time. For Matrix, bullet time, like tiger time, like dodging tigers flying at you, like it happens 2 or 3 times. I love it.
when he
Bullet
slides
time.
on the ground, like
Yeah, tiger launches over him and attacks somebody else, and then the tiger hitting the wolf, everything. It's just
when he
what a
punches the
delight.
tiger with the freaking candle lit or like the furnace hand.
Guys, it's
That's
been such a
so
delight.
amazing.
I love you guys. Take it easy, all right? We'll
Okay,
talk later.
yeah.
All right, bye.
Peace.
I think also just the animals in this movie, it's insane. Every single scene that they're in, like the things that they do, like the dude getting the elk antler through his arm. I'm like, what the fuck am I watching?
Yeah, that
And then
was
like the
crazy.
leopard getting thrown on like a person, the bear eating people alive. I also just love that scene when he's like when he jumps and then Raju like throws the rope around him and like catches him before he falls, like or before he can like get to the girl. I also think it's so funny that the girl was taken because she can sing good. Like, why would you just want some random Indian child?
We'll
Because
pay for your child
yeah,
two
and then
pennies.
um I think the British like captain is so funny, dude. I love how he's like, I want his neck wrung out tight. I want to see his eyes bulge and pop. I'm like, what human being speaks like this? And then his
Uh,
shot, dude, and the fact that the moment his after like in the air he shoots the car just like flips over. It was so obviously like launched by something or pulled by something. Oh my
yeah.
gosh. Like that was just there's so many different scenes in this that the physics just make it that much better. Like him jumping out of the water with the spear, like not just coming out of the water, like jumping 8 feet out of the water, like completely immersed to just 8 feet in the air with a spear is insanity. As well as his buddy with the arrow literally being John Wick and hitting every single shot
Yeah,
and
for
like
real.
hitting people through trees is the most insane thing I've ever seen. I'm like, this isn't a bullet we're talking about. This is an arrow.
I love when the father like looks at the bullseye and the target and he's like, was he over there? No, he was over there. And then it's
Over
like
there.
pans over.
He's
It's
like
like,
2,000 meters. It's like American Sniper times 2. The kid's like 9 years old standing up, trying to hit a target that's like this.
well, and
Yeah.
then I just love too, like how insane and how messed up this poor kid is because his father's like tells
like,
him to shoot him when he's
"Shoot
strapped
me."
with dynamite. It's like so cruel, like the worst thing you can do to a child.
So
I
funny.
didn't think I didn't think it was his dad. I thought it was just like the town
No,
protector
it's his
or
dad.
whatever.
It was his
His dad.
Oh,
dad.
really?
And then his mother was the one that got shot. That's why his entire family died.
Yeah,
Oh,
and
wow.
his little sister.
And that's why he swore to like essentially make it his mission to give a gun to every like person.
Well, it's kind of funny because it's kind of like a terrorist type of like
Oh,
goal
absolutely.
that he's trying to accomplish, which is kind of funny.
Yeah, dude,
We're
his
just like,
motorcycle
yes, he
launch,
made it.
when he launches that motorcycle into that room of TNT is insane thing. It literally like flies like 80 feet in the air
Yeah.
perfectly into this room and blows it up. Oh my gosh, dude. That scene was insane. And just like you guys mentioned, that opening scene when they get to meet each other is just, oh man, that's just perfect cinema.
Yes, and then they're under the water and there's like explosions happening right above
Yeah.
them.
And I also love what's it called when how he's like looking for this dude who's so clearly his best friend and he and like they can never find the paper.
Well, no, because remember,
One time he goes to
oh
shoot,
yeah,
it, like,
yeah, yeah.
falls off and he's like, oh dang it. I'm like, you look at this dude every day. You how do you not know that this is like you're supposed to be like the best soldier and best detective? Like
Well, no, because he was the two guys. The one guy who was searching for the guy that he was running after.
which
Do
was
you remember
him.
that? No, it wasn't him. It was the other guy's friend. Remember his group?
No, but the
Because remember
picture
he first gets
picture
there and
was
then he
the picture was of his best friend.
Mm-mm.
I'm like 99% sure.
No, it was because remember he goes to that place and he's like, "Hey," he like taps on that one guy's shoulder, and then he starts chasing him, right? And then he loses him, and then that guy meets up with the main character.
Yeah,
So he was looking for the main character's friend.
I was also very confused when he threw the snake at him and he's like, "There is no cure," and then they're like, "It's okay, we gave him the medicine, he's cured."
Oh yeah,
I did not understand that.
probably because okay, I don't know. That's a good question.
Yeah, because he's like, doctors still haven't found a cure to the snake bite, and then all of a sudden the guy's like, "We got him the medicine time. It's okay, he's fine." It's just, I was so confused.
I also
Yeah,
love
that's a
that.
good
What are
point.
the odds that like the one girl he runs into just happens to be Raju's like fiance, and
Oh,
she's like, "My husband has been undercover," and she just exposed it to some random dude. His entire like
Oh yeah,
undercover plot. I was like, "Wow, really close mouth on you."
I know, right?
I
oh,
was like, "What were you
two,
gonna say,
well, two things you said I really liked. You said you set aside time. Yes, this movie's 3 hours, so you do need to set aside time. Or Cameron, I think you said set aside the entire day because it's just so long. And then I also thought about the villain. I'm like, I don't know who's worse, this chick or the Cersei from Game of Thrones. Like,
Dude, right?"
this chick is nuts.
Yeah, she's insane. And yeah, just like see, that's what I just love this movie like juxtaposes like all other movies because like I'm laughing out loud in a torture scene. Like when he's like not letting his knees touch, when he's like
Oh yeah,
he's like using all his strength
I
and
will
he's like
not kneel.
yeah, and then how like after he like stands up and then starts singing and then all
Yeah.
the people are like motivated to
Did
revolt
you
and they're
see? Did you
like,
think of Braveheart when they were doing that? I was just waiting for him to yell
yeah.
freedom.
Yeah, and then I love how it's like super inspirational. He like sings like this super positive song about like no matter how bad we're down, like I'll never resist. And then like the people just instant revolt and they're like, I just thought like scenes like that, like it's just like tonal shift after tonal shift. It's so funny. It just goes from like, oh, this is like a romance, like a rom com. This is a bromance. Oh, it's an action flick. It's like, oh no, this is a torture film. It's like, but then motivation, like it's just so funny.
It's a
Like
musical.
this movie, this movie is every genre in one.
Yeah.
If you don't know what type of genre you're looking for to watch a movie, just watch this and it'll hit at least one of the ones that you wanted to watch.
Well, halfway through, all of a sudden it did his backstory. I'm like, oh, is this a different movie now? Like it just like it was such a drastic.
And it does not explain it well too. So you're like, wait, who's this kid? I'm assuming that.
It's yeah.
Oh
Well,
man.
and it's funny too because the villain, I guess he's not really the villain, but the fire guy, he like because he just has a mustache in the beginning, then later he has a beard, and so I'm like, oh, is
Yeah,
this
I
the
got
same?
so confused with that,
I was like,
dude.
is this the same guy? And then Tatiana's like, no,
Yeah.
it's not the same guy, and they
That's
just
what I thought.
they
And then
just look
Cameron's
alike.
like, yeah, that's the same guy
It is
from
the
the
same
beginning. I
guy.
was
Yeah,
like, what?
yeah.
I was really confused with
So
that.
I was happy I recognized that because I was like, I don't know if I can tell, but
Yeah. Well,
I
that's why
love it.
when they first meet up and they do the bridge scene, like I was like, who the frick is this guy?
I know because I was like, oh, I thought he was a villain, but I guess he's
Yeah.
he's
I know, and I was like, why is
complicated.
he helping save this kid? I'm so confused.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there's more than meets the eye, Grant.
it's true.
No, yeah, but that's the thing too, is like that's why I feel like the plot holes and the like the lack of physics, it almost just kind of like Grant said, like plays into the movie even more to where it's just like it like my jaw was like on the floor the entire movie. I was just like, no way. And then like, and I love how certain things like they tried to follow physics, but then like the other things that were people are just like flying directly. Like also when they catch the kid and they just throw him, they like grab him and like chucks him as far as he can, and then the kid just like lands totally fine.
Yeah, like on a thing
And
of
he like got
sand.
wet, so I guess a wet flag can protect you from like a oil gas fire.
Oil fire. Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know, that's how physics works, but
Well, they do
in
tell
one,
you. I don't know how much it helps you, but they do say like if you're in a house that's burning, they do say like get a wet towel, wrap it around you, and run out.
Oh,
Oh
really?
wow.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
not sure it works, but it's better than
You
nothing.
can't see, you just run into a wall.
But yeah, I mean, there's so many different things. It's so hard to say all of the amazing things about this, but my favorite thing about this movie is like it's impossible to do it justice or explain it. It's just something you have to watch. And I think it's not the whole movie, but the scenes are the most recommendable scenes of all time. Like it's just
And
like Journey to the
rewatchable
West.
too. Yeah,
Like it's just like Journey to the West. Like I've shown so many people that opening
that
scene,
opening.
and everyone's just like, "What am I watching?" It's just like, "Get out of my baby!" Like there's so many the same thing in this movie. Like, and that's what I think is also amazing because usually films like that, like Journey to the West, like opening scene 10 out of 10, but then it kind of trails off and
Yeah,
it's
it
kind
slows
of like
down a lot.
weird. I mean, it's always weird, but it's not like a funny weird as much. It's more like a horrifying weird, like the pigs with the people inside it. So fun when I'm
The
watching.
pig demon.
Whereas
Yeah.
this, like, it just kept that same energy of that opening scene, like throughout the film, and that's what, like, I just gave it so like such mad props because it's just like, it's 3 hours where you're like, it's just pure entertainment and you're never thinking of like deeper meaning to anything. It's beautiful.
Yeah, it's definitely one you can check
And
out. I mean, like
yeah,
check your brain out.
yeah.
Do we recommend the movie, Cameron?
Absolutely. Everyone has to at least watch some scenes. Just look up on YouTube our best scenes. And if that really intrigues you, I mean I implore you to watch the movie because it's
I
amazing. But watch it
implore
with
you.
people. Watch it in a group because like watch it
It
at a group
is a
like
better crowd
movie
movie.
night and everyone will just be laughing. It's so good.
Yeah, I do agree with that.
Great.
It's a great crowd movie if you're trying to figure out what to watch with a group. And the nice part is the only reason it's ours for violence, which
It's
obviously
actually
for
not
some,
rated. But yeah, but there's no language.
well,
It's
it's
like,
TVMA, but it's
oh,
for violence.
On
And
Netflix it is, yeah.
yeah, and I did watch it with Tot, and the opening scene, she thought was a little bit violent. She's like, I don't want to watch it anymore.
What? Oh, with the guys?
Yeah, just coming out, he's like, like they pummel his face, and he's like all bloody, and
yeah, that's right.
I actually love how much he gets punched in the face. Like even when he's hanging, like he's got his hand and he's still punching him in the face. Like there's something so satisfying about that. Like very good. So yeah, I guess I
And it's
recommend it.
like hard to find any like nitpicks with this movie because like it leans in and like
Yes.
doesn't take itself too seriously that you can't really like get mad at it.
Yeah. Well, and when it's being super serious, it like leans so hard into it. You're like,
Yeah.
it's great. Cameron, what
that's
have you
true.
seen lately? What are you looking forward to? Cheap.
I've been watching some Modern Family. I'm in season 2. So good. And then I watched A Face in the Crowd for my film class. It's got Andy Griffith.
Oh.
And he plays this like psycho dude. He plays this dude who becomes like he's just like a essentially like a wanderer.
Andy
And then
Griffith,
yeah, his name is Andy Griffith from the Andy Griffith Show.
the redhead kid.
No, the like
Oh, the actual guy. Is he still
the
alive?
guy whose name's Andy Griffith.
No,
Yes.
Cameron's watching these old movies, Grant.
Oh, got it.
And he plays this guy who's like a wanderer who becomes like super famous because of some like TV show or some a radio show, and then like the power gets to his head. It's insane. And it's all right. Like it was entertaining, and his performance was amazing. I give it a 7 out of 10. It's got really good reviews on IMDb. It's got an 8.2. And then I watched one of Jordan bought a bunch of superhero movies. So I added a bunch to my watch list. I just watched the Catwoman one, which was it was all right.
Okay.
It was the lowest rate. It was the lowest rated of them on IMDb. So I just started off with that, and I was just gonna go progressively up. And then I also finished the entire Death Note series.
Ugh.
It's so freaking good. It might be top 3 now for me. It might. I don't know. It'll be definitely top 4. It's definitely gonna bump anything else out. But it's oh my gosh. Even I was surprised how much I actually liked like the
Season 2.
second half because I never got past that. Because spoiler, I'll give you guys a break. After L dies, like I just wasn't motivated at all to keep watching. But after watching it after he died, I was actually impressed how I didn't love Nier. It's okay. I thought they tried too hard to make him exactly like L, and then even seem even smarter. Which I'm like, this is the predecessor. There's no way he's as smart as L. But I thought it was like other characters like Mikami were so good. Who this dude who like worships light. He's like, God, I did everything you told me. But yeah. And then I'm just looking forward to the freaking new Blue Beetle. I'm so young. Blue Beetle's one of my top 10 favorite superheroes of
Oh,
all.
that's right.
And it's got Miguel from
Cobra Kai
Is this movie or
Cobra
TV show?
movie.
It's gonna be a movie. And then I'm also super stoked. I just watched the new Spider-Man Spider-Verse trailer. I don't recommend it to you guys just because it shows a lot, but it's so good. Oh my gosh, dude. Yeah, it was just like explaining it kind of was just like outlining the plot, which I'm glad because at first I was like, how are they making Oscar Isaac in Spider-Man 2099 like the villain? Because I mean he's a Spider-Man, but then it explains kind of why. Because it kind of seems like a Flashpoint paradox where
There's like
it
millions
kind
of
of
Spider-Man, right?
well, not only that, but then also I think like someone in Miles's family has to die for him to have like his character arc, and Miles wants to stop it, but Oscar Isaac is like, no, you have to. It's part of like what makes us us. And he's like, no, screw that. I'm gonna do my own thing. And he's like, no. And so it's kind of insane. Like looks like essentially um it's cool. I don't know. It just looks really good, and I'm like super interested in it. And also, it looks like the parents might figure out that Miles is Super Spider-Man because they're like, because his like teacher and teacher parent conference is like, Miles is lying to you guys, and I'm sure that you're starting to figure that out. And it's like, oh snap! But I don't know. It just looks super good. And then also, somebody recommended to me Champions. It's the Woody Allen movie about coaching a like special needs team. It was one of my buddies who really likes The Ringer as well. He said that it's the closest thing that you could get to The Ringer in 2023.
I think it's Woody Harrelson, not Allen,
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's what I mean.
because Allen's the one that does all those chick flicks.
Yeah, it's Woody Harrelson. But yeah, that's about it for me.
Grant, what about you?
It's been a while since I've been on, so I don't remember what I've said, but I watched The Menu. I enjoyed it. I watched Emily the Criminal because I heard Ty talk about it. Because we did some movie on the podcast that was similar to it or something.
Is any good?
Yeah, it's pretty good. It comes like full circle at the end. It's kind of interesting. And then I watched the 2 Minion movies. There's like laughable parts, but it's definitely a kid's movie. And then watched Gattaca. It's like an old 1990s movie that's like the 90s version of what they thought the future would be like, because like they perfected genetics and they were like creating essentially like perfect humans. And so there was a guy who was like from birth considered a non-perfect guy, and then he like pretends to be this perfect guy. He like takes on like his urine samples, his blood samples, like he works with the guy because he's like paying him to do this anyways.
Is that with
And so
Ethan
it's like
Hawke? Or I'm thinking of something else. Gattaca. I think I'm thinking of something else.
maybe I can't remember who's in it, but and then watched the Lego movie again. That's a really good one. It's like still rewatchable. And then Ender's Game, I watched that, and I like it's been so long since I'd seen it, and so it's kind of fun like actually forgetting what happens in the movie. So there's like the twists are pretty fun. And then I watched Perfect Blue with Jordan and Tatiana. Wild movie, man. Holy crap.
Yeah, you can totally see where Christopher Nolan gets his
What's
ideas
it
for
called?
like Inception. It's the one we
Perfect
started.
Blue.
Yeah, I know. I want to rewatch it
Oh,
or
okay.
want finish it.
Yeah, Perfect Blue.
Perfect Blue animation or animated movie. And then Black Adam, I watched that a while ago. It was all right. DC has, I feel like they've set themselves like in a box that they can't escape.
Yeah.
With these movies, they're just, I don't know. I think they just take themselves too seriously.
Yeah.
And then like everything is CGI. So there's not a lot of like substance to it. It feels like
Yeah, I mean, their best decision was when they worked with James Gunn, and he, saved that Suicide
Yeah.
Squad, the second one.
Yeah. The Suicide Squad. Yeah. But I did have Dr. Fate in it, and he was pretty cool.
I love
But
Doctor.
yeah, they made him really, really cool. But that was about the only redeemable quality of that movie. Bummer.
So,
So
so I watched a movie called Dead Again, which is a very fun thriller. The ending felt a little bit Hollywoodish, but the first half is amazing. Like great character development, interesting, fun story, and it's a very high concept. The idea of like, what if we came back, like reincarnated, or we just kept reliving, like essentially coming back and inhabiting new bodies, but like basically the same. And so people just keep running into each other and meeting each other again and making the same mistakes and stuff. It's an interesting, fun movie. Robin Williams plays an insane therapist. It's
wow.
very fun, interesting film. And then I also watched The Talented Mr. Ripley, which I was telling Cameron he needs to watch because it's really good. I mean, it's as far as like a person, like the study of his brain, like how crazy he is and like how smart he is. It just reminds me of somebody like from Nightcrawler, Jake Gyllenhaal. So I'm not comparing it to that because obviously Nightcrawler I feel like is better, and I know you won't like it as much, but
I need to watch
he's
Taxi Driver.
yes, you also need to watch that because
After watching that video of him comparing Lou Bloom and him, I was like, oh man.
the thing is though, you've seen all the movies that have come after it too, and that is based off. So
For sure.
this is
And they're like
essentially
made just higher quality. I know, but
so I personally think Taxi Driver's it was done the best, but that's just because I'm biased and I love Martin Scorsese and I like his style but more. And I feel like I connect a little bit more to the taxi driver character. I mean, I
so
know,
you're a killer.
but it's a really fun
Do
watch.
you hold your hand over the flame, Jordan, just to see if you can feel it?
Just to feel something. And then I finished Summer of '84. It was a very fun ending. Turbo Kid is still their better film, and I'm excited to see their sequel. And then you guys forgot to mention Cameron showed us the Way of the Husband. Grant, what was your thoughts about
Oh
that?
yeah, The Way of the House Husband.
Yeah,
That's a really good anime, and yeah, I definitely recommend that.
that was fun. And I'm looking forward to Spider-Man as well. I think that'll be fun because if it's made by the same people, the first one was really great. So is that
I'm really hoping to the new Mario movie. I hope it's good.
I don't know. I just didn't
They've
see
got
any
good voice
That
actors.
crazy
But
cast, but
yeah.
I just didn't see anything else besides the cast on it and the name Mario. Like,
yeah.
'cause
I hope it.
I hope they go kind of like the Wreck-It Ralph route because Wreck-It
Yeah.
Ralph was fun.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
We'll see. I was watching the trailer and none of the jokes made me laugh. So I'm like, oh, this is dangerous. But I was shocked when I enjoyed Puss in Boots. So who knows?
This is true.
That was really good.
Maybe coming in with literally negative expectations will be beneficial.
All right. And I feel bad, Cameron. I've just been stacking your bucket list, like all these movies. I'm like, Cameron, you gotta watch this. You're gonna love this. You're gonna
Oh
love
no,
this.
you're good. I have to ask you a different day. There's a couple films that I also saw that like a person recommended to me. I want to see if you think I would like them.
Okay.
That's
I
everything.
think that's it.
Just always
Bye.
remember Desi Nach.
Notch. All right. And
Bye.
stop.